So I'm going to show you guys the next assignment. Okay, so I bet you're wondering, how would you begin working on the style assignment? So the good news is you've already done some of the research for your style assignment. You went to the library and checked out a book, and you read that book and you took notes from that book. You looked up an article in JSTOR and you read that article and you took some notes from that article. So you've already done some research for this assignment. What I'm going to ask you to do is to get some new research. So this new research, the good source for new research would be your textbook. So you can go into your textbook, find the style of your artwork in the textbook, read about it, take notes from it, use that in this assignment. I also want you to go to these two websites. We have Smart History and the Art Story. These are excellent sites for researching art history stuff. Now, for 1304, which is the spring semester of this class, these are very easy to use for next semester. All you would need to do is go to these two websites and just search your style, your artist, your artwork. It's very easy to use. For 1303, which is the first semester of art history, these are still good sources of information. They're just a bit tricky. So, for example, at the Smart History website, you would click on Books and then go down and click on See Complete Selection of Titles. And it gives you these for the first semester stuff. So there's a guide to the Mediterranean art. That's all things Greek and Roman and Aegean. A guide to medieval Europe and the Byzantine. That's, the Unit 3 stuff that we're about to get into. And then there's Europe 1300 to 1800. Now, this class, this first semester class, we're only going up to the year 1400. So if you have something, from 1300 to 1400, then just be aware that if you go and use that, we're only doing a small part of this. However, if you're in 1304, that's a great source. That's a great place to go to. All right. Also, for 1303 first semester art history, clicking on the curated guides, and there is a link to AP Art History that has some great information about different artworks. There's the prehistory to Middle Ages link that you can go to. There's the ancient Greek art and architecture link you can go to, or the medieval and Byzantine art and architecture you can go to. These are great places to get information that you need. Also, Smart History has so many videos on YouTube, right? So you can, once you find your artworks that you're going to need for this assignment, you can go there, and I would just, go to YouTube and then do a search for Smart History and then put in the title of your artwork. You might get lucky. The Art Story, like I said, it's wonderful for the second semester. For the first semester, it's a bit tricky. The ones that are in white are the ones that it has articles on or like information on, but it doesn't have everything from this class. So it doesn't have anything on ancient China or even historical China. The only Chinese artists that it has is 20th century Chinese artists. The same thing with Japan. And if you're looking for Japanese information, it only has information on ukiyo-e Japanese stuff. So the Art Story is a wonderful site for a lot of things, but if you have some non-Western stuff, it's a bit lacking. Okay, so now what information are you looking for? So let's pretend that this is your chosen artwork for the Beast. This is Discobolos from the classical era. So you're not going to be looking at your artwork on this assignment. For example, if the Discobolos is our artwork, then you'll be looking for the classical era. So you're going to collect general knowledge about the style. You're looking for, so whatever style yours is, you're looking for information about the style, not your artwork. Then I want you to find 3 artworks in that style that are not your chosen artwork. So if the Scobolos is my chosen artwork for the beast. I'm going to find one artwork that's not my beast artwork, and I'm going to write about how this is a good example of classical Greek art. I can write about what the context is of this artwork. Like when I tell you the stories behind the artworks, that's what I'm talking about. Like that's context. And then what's the story behind the artwork? The same thing for your second artwork and the same thing for your third artwork. And notice that those three artworks are not my chosen artwork. Does everybody understand that? So you will read those new resources and you'll be looking at Smart History, the art story in your textbook, taking notes. And then it's time to write your essay. This is going to be 2 pages. I want it to be 2 full pages, not a page and a half, not a page and a quarter, but 2 full pages, roughly about 4 to 5 paragraphs. And we're not using any introductions or conclusions. In this class, I have pared down this assignment to be as short as possible. So there's no room for any fluff in this assignment. That just get right to the information. So here you might have spend a couple paragraphs describing the art style, maybe a paragraph or 2 on artwork 1, a paragraph or 2 on artwork number 2, and a paragraph or 2 on artwork number 3. So it might look, you might construct it something like this, right? It might be only half a page of the art style, and then the other page and a half is about the artworks. All right, you be you, like, you make it work for you. We're still formatting this in a formal way. So you're going to put your last name up here in a header and it'll be numbered, page 1, page 2, and so on. The title of your assignment is going to be the title of your style. So in my case, it would be classical Greek art. We're still using footnotes. All right, and then the footnotes are like the footnotes before. So I expect to see at least about 3 footnotes on this assignment, probably more because you're going to be going to 4 to 5 sources. I have videos for you that explains how to do footnotes with a Word document, how to do footnotes with a Google Docs. Before I get to the footnotes, I want to talk about how to write the titles of your artwork. So you're going to be discussing the titles, or you're going to be discussing your artworks. And so the title is going to be in italics with no quote marks. And then after the first time you mention the artwork, you're going to put figure 1. And then for the second artwork and the third artwork, after the first time you mention the second artwork, it's figure 2. After the first time you mention the third artwork, it's figure 3. Every time you mention the artwork after this, you don't have to put the figure after it. It's only the first time you mention it. And then in your bibliography, when you put the artworks in your bibliographies, I want to see at least 4 sources. Right? Your textbook, your book, your article, an internet source, or 2. And then within each one, it's going to be a line to the left. And every second line or third line is going to be a line to the right. It'll be indented. And then each entry is going to be single spaced. And then the space between entries is going to be double spaced. So what you're going to turn in is going to look like this. It's going to be about 7 to 9, possibly more pages. You're going to have 2 pages of your written work. 1 page is going to be your bibliography. You're going to submit 3 high-quality photos of your artworks and then photos of your notes. All right, so I bet you're wondering, how do I find high-quality photos of artworks? So we're going to go to Google. This is how I do it. I go to Google, and I'll just type in the artwork, and then I'll go to images, and it gives me something that looks like this. And so which one is a good photo? Wikipedia is excellent for having high quality photos of artworks. And so if I see one that says Wikipedia, like this one right here, there's another one over here, Wikipedia. These usually are high quality artworks. I'm not going to choose one like this one in the lower right. Like, what the heck is going on with that one? I'm not going to choose that. I'm not going to choose anything with like, this. It has, that's not what I want. And also, there's some artworks that have a watermark on them. Don't choose those. So if I were to click on this one for the Wikipedia, it'll show up over here on the right side. And if I put my mouse over the photo, this little box with numbers is going to pop up. And that's how I know if it's a high quality photo or not. If it's around 1,000 to 2,000, that's perfect. That's the number that you want. So this one is 960 to 1431. That's the perfect size that I want. If it's way under that, it's not going to be a high quality photo. If it's way over that, it's not going to be a high quality photo. So I'll show you the difference. All right, I'm going to ask you to blow these pictures up real big on your piece of paper. And once you blow up a picture really big, you can really tell if it's a high quality or photo or not. Now, this one, I can see all the cracks in the painting and so on. This is a high quality photo. This one gets blurry when I enlarge it, and it gets pixelated when I enlarge it. That's a low quality photo. So on your 3 pages of photos of your artworks, you're going to blow them up real big. And then just below it, you're going to write figure 1, figure 2, figure 3, whichever one it relates to in what you wrote. So when you're talking about an artwork and you labeled it figure 1, that picture should say figure 1. When you're talking about another artwork and you labeled it figure 2, that picture should say figure 2. Again, the title is in italics. First semester, it's only the title and date and style, and second semester, it'll be the artist, title, date, and style. Yes.
If we have a piece of like Greek art where we know the author,
Yeah, you can put the artist. Mm-hmm.
Where would we put that?
So it would be artist, title, date, and style. All right. So like I've said before, all right, it's going to look professional but it will not sound professional. It's going to look formal, but not sound formal. Just like this guy, he's all business up top, but down below, he's ready for the beach or he's ready to take a nap. And so I want it to look nice and professional, but when I read it, I should hear your voice. And also no intro or conclusion. Just be yourself. There is written instructions for how to do this assignment in D2L. And then this will be the last assignment that you will record a video for. So explain what you wrote about in the artwork. That way, if later on, I'm reading your beast and I suspect AI or it doesn't look like it, you know what you're talking about, then I'll come back and watch this video of you explaining what you wrote. So when you are submitting your artwork, you should see an icon that looks like that with the triangle and the circle and the square and the 2 lines. You click on that and it says add video note, and then you record it right there. When I see it where I grade it, I'll see your document, and right below it, I see the video. Once again, so this is what your paper will look like when you turn it in. It'll be 2 pages of content, 1 page of a bibliography, 3 pages of photos of the artwork, nice and big and high quality, and then between 1 and however many pages of notes. There's a template in D2L for you. Please use the template. It's all set up for you. I'm still getting assignments back that are formatted all wrong. The student obviously didn't use the template. All right, and then grading, I've been over this before. I'll go over it again. So if you turn in the assignment and there's no mistakes, that's 100. And also remember at this point, with these previews, I'm only skimming through it. I'm really looking for formatting errors to make it easier for me to read when you submit it with the Beast. Just because I don't catch any grammar errors now doesn't mean I'm not going to catch it when I grade the Beast. So try your best so that when I do grade the Beast and I'm reading it thoroughly, that I don't score low because of bad grammar and things of that nature. If you turn it in on time with mistakes, and I'll make corrections and I'll give you a 50. And then, so the corrections would look like something like this. This allows you to correct these things by the time you turn it in with the final beast. And that way you'll have a higher score and it'll be easier for me to read. If you show me that evidence that you saw the corrections, then I will change that 50 into 100. It could be a screenshot of the corrections or a selfie with you in the corrections, even just a picture of the corrections with a thumbs up. I've even started getting people just messaging me in D2L in the assignment. They upload the document with the corrections and they wrote a note that says, Mr. Reese, I saw your corrections. That alone is enough for me to change it to 100. All right. I don't need to see it again unless you really want me to see it. You'd say, Mr. Reese, can you please look at this again and make sure it's all right? I'd be happy to, but I don't really need to see it again. Next time I see it will be when you turn in the final beast. Turning it in late is a 0.01. However, it's good to turn it in late because I'll still make those corrections. I'd happy to do that so that when you turn in your final beast, that you will have all those corrections made and you'll get a higher score. And also that 0.01, as I'm looking through the grade book, I can see the students that are trying. They're still turning in stuff, even though it's late. And that just gives me a higher opinion of you if there's anything that should come up later on in the semester. And then not turning it in is a 0. I've already gone over this with you. I don't need to go over it again. Any questions about this assignment, about the style assignment?